At this point, I was extremely frightened. I picked up the walkie-talkie again and asked once more what my colleagues were doing, as I hadn't seen any support from them yet. They said they hadn't accurately determined my exact location yet, so it would take some more time to reach me. I suggested asking the colleague who was with me earlier. He had a tablet with a map guide inside. However, their response further unsettled me. He's gone. Shortly after, I heard voices echoing around me again. This time, I decided to investigate to see if some troublemakers were around. I followed the direction where the voice seemed to come from, or at least where I sensed it was coming from. However, the more I walked, the further the voice seemed to move away from me. The more I walked, the more I felt I was pursuing something meaningless, like chasing a past love. After about 20 minutes of cat and mouse, I decided to give up and stop pursuing. I returned to the fire I had lit earlier to warm myself. As soon as I sat down, barely warming my seat, I received a call from my colleagues at headquarters. They said they had found the friend who had been with me earlier. He had returned earlier due to exhaustion. He was found unconscious, covered in vomit, looking quite terrifying. They immediately took him to the hospital, and now they were beginning to search for my location. I was listening for updates and preparing to give them more details about my whereabouts, when suddenly, the walkie-talkie went dead due to a drained battery. Then once again, voices began to echo around my location. Now, I did nothing, deciding to sit and try eavesdrop on what those voices were saying. I caught snippets of conversation. "Hey, this yours that you took? I don't care. Come on, don't act like that. I know you're better than that." Then came a series of threatening tones, tension escalating in their conversation. Then suddenly, everything fell silent. Silence enveloped everything for 3-4 minutes, and then a gunshot rang out. Immediately, extinguished my fire and sought refuge among the bushes. Silence continued to blanket everything. No voices, no rustling, just my shallow breathing until much later the sound of off-road vehicles. I heard the sound of my teammates' vehicles, and my heart felt elated. I left my vehicle there, and a colleague drove me back to headquarters, where I recounted everything I had experienced. We decided the next day to request police assistance. The following day, a police force accompanied us to patrol and investigate if the gunshot from the previous day had left any consequences. After about an hour of searching, we discovered a shallow, rudimentary grave. It seemed someone had hastily concealed a crime. Inside was the body of a man, clearly shot in the face. What's noteworthy is that the body was just skeletal remains, indicating he had died several years ago. We considered two hypotheses. 1. The voices I heard the previous day were related to another incident we hadn't yet uncovered. 2. Inadvertently overheard someone mentioning a long past event.